The routine patrol shift aboard the UEF border security vessel Vigilant changed in an instant when Lieutenant Commander Jun Kim spotted an anomalous signature at the edge of human-controlled space. "Captain Park, I'm detecting an unknown vessel approaching our border," Jun reported, his eyes fixed on his console. "Configuration suggests heavy armaments. Nothing in our database matches this design." Captain Hyun Park moved swiftly to the tactical station. "Have they responded to hailing frequencies?" "Negative, sir," replied Communications Officer Dali. "They're maintaining course toward Proxima Centauri colony." Within minutes, Earth Defense Command issued Condition Red. As military assets throughout the sector mobilized, the bridge crew watched the alien vessel's approach with a mixture of dread and fascination. "Those energy readings," whispered Engineer Ji Suhan. "How is that even possible?" The bridge fell silent as everyone tried to make sense of the data. The alien ship moved unlike anything humans had ever built. It seemed to dance between stars, making impossible turns that defied the laws of physics. Captain Park stood tall, his face showing no fear despite the tightness in his jaw. "All personnel to battle stations. This is not a drill." Red lights flashed across the ship as crew members rushed to their posts. Weapons Officer Min Ryo powered up the defensive systems, his fingers flying across the control panel. "Sir, should I ready the main cannons?" Min asked, his voice steady despite the tension. Captain Park nodded. "Ready, but do not fire unless I give the order. We don't know their intentions yet." The strange vessel continued its approach, now just hours away from reaching the outer defense perimeter of Proxima Centauri. Home to over 4 billion humans, the colony was the pride of Earth's expansion efforts. Lieutenant Commander Jun kept his eyes fixed on the scanner. "Sir, the vessel is 3 times the size of our largest battleship. Energy readings suggest power levels we've never seen before." "Do we have visual yet?" Captain Park asked. Communications Officer Day tapped several buttons. "Coming through now, sir." The main screen lit up, showing a massive ship unlike anything in human records. Its hull was dark with strange patterns that seemed to shift and change. No visible weapons could be seen, but something about its shape felt threatening, like a predator designed for war. "Beautiful and terrifying," whispered Jisoo. The captain opened a channel to Earth Defense Command. "Admiral Song, this is Captain Park of the Vigilant. We have visual confirmation of the unknown vessel. Request instructions." Admiral Song's face appeared on the screen, lines of worry etched across his features. "Captain, 3 battle groups are being dispatched to your location. Your orders are to maintain observation distance and continue attempts at communication. Do not engage unless fired upon." "Understood, Admiral." As the connection ended, a new alert blared through the bridge. "Sir," Jun called out, "the vessel has increased speed. At current trajectory, it will reach Proxima Centauri in 2 hours instead of 5. Captain Park gripped the edge of his command chair. Broadcast on all frequencies, all languages. Make it clear that they are entering human territory and must identify themselves." Day sent the message, repeating it in every human language, and using universal mathematical sequences that any advanced civilization should recognize. Minutes passed with no response. "Still nothing, sir," Day reported. The tension on the bridge thickened. The alien ship now moved even faster, its course unwavering. "It's as if they don't even see us," Jisoo said. "Or worse, they don't care that we're here." Captain Park made a decision. "Move to intercept course. We'll position ourselves between the vessel and Proxima Centauri." The Vigilant's engines roared to life as the ship changed direction, placing itself directly in the path of the oncoming alien. "Sir, I'm detecting energy buildup within the vessel," Jun reported, a note of alarm in his voice. "It's like nothing I've ever seen. The patterns are strange." "Weapons?" asked the captain. "I don't think so," said Jisoo, studying her own readings. "The energy signature doesn't match any weapon system we know. It's more like Communication, but on a scale that would fry our systems if directed at us. The alien ship suddenly slowed, coming to a relative stop just 1,000 kilometers from the Vigilant, close enough to be seen by the naked eye through the bridge viewport. "They've noticed us," Captain Park said. "Dai, try again." Before Dai could send another message, the space between the ships lit up with colors no human had ever seen before. Patterns formed and dissolved, creating shapes that seemed to move in impossible ways. "Sir, our systems are going crazy," Jun reported. "But there's no attack. I think they're scanning us." The alien vessel began to pulse with light. Then, without warning, every screen on the Vigilant displayed the same image, a mathematical equation of stunning complexity. Jisoo gasped. "It's a prime number sequence, but with variables I've never seen before. This is first contact communication." Captain Park studied the symbols. "They're trying to talk to us. Dai, send our first contact protocol response." As Dai worked, the alien ship moved again, now circling the Vigilant at a respectful distance. "Sir," Min said from his weapons station, "I don't think they came here to fight. If they wanted to attack, they could have done it already." Captain Park nodded slowly. "Perhaps, but we must remain cautious. The fate of Proxima Centauri, and possibly Earth itself, depends on what happens in the next few hours." As the first tentative communication began between species, one thing became clear to everyone on the bridge. The universe had just become a much larger and more complicated place. Admiral Ta Sung commanded the hastily assembled defense fleet at Proxima's orbital line. Dozens of Earth's most powerful warships formed a protective barrier between the approaching alien and the colony's 4 billion inhabitants. "All vessels, maintain formation," Todd ordered as the alien ship appeared at the edge of visual range. Its hull gleamed with an iridescent material unlike any known alloy. The first exchange was brief, but telling. Human weapons barely registered against the intruder's shielding. During a momentary lull, Ensign Mina Choi noticed something unusual. "Admiral, I'm detecting patterns in their energy emissions. It's too regular to be random. I think they might be trying to communicate." The battle paused when the alien vessel suddenly projected a holographic image that filled the view screens of every human ship. The symbols it displayed defied all translation attempts. Admiral Ta stood on the bridge of the flagship Defender, his face grim as the reports came in. 3 of their ships had already taken heavy damage, and they hadn't even scratched the alien vessel. "Sir, the UEF Dauntless reports engine failure. They're requesting emergency evacuation," said Communications Officer Sun Ho. Admiral Ta nodded. "Send the Mercy to assist. Pull them back to the secondary defense line." The bridge crew worked in tense silence. Years of drills and training had prepared them for alien contact, but nothing had prepared them for this. The alien ship moved with impossible grace, seemingly aware of human tactics before they were even executed. "It's like they know our playbook," muttered Tactical Officer Junwoo. When the alien ship had first appeared in the system, bypassing the Vigilant's intercept attempt, Admiral Ta had been given one simple order: protect Proxima Centauri at all costs. Now, as he watched his ship's weapons dissolve harmlessly against the alien's shields, he wondered if that would be possible. "Sir," called Weapons Officer Bin, "the Valiant reports their main cannon did 0 damage. Not reduced damage, 0. As if the energy was simply absorbed." On the main view screen, the alien vessel hung in space, its strange hull now pulsing with soft blue light. It had stopped advancing but made no move to retreat either. "Admiral," Ensign Mina Choi called from her station. Her voice drew attention because it lacked the fear that edged everyone else's words. Instead, she sounded curious. "I've been analyzing the energy patterns from the alien ship during our attacks. There's something odd about them." Admiral Ta moved to her station. "Explain." "Look at this wavelength pattern, sir." She pointed to her screen where a series of peaks and valleys formed a distinct pattern. "It repeats exactly after each of our attacks, but with slight variations. Too precise to be random feedback. Admiral Ta studied the pattern. You think they're trying to communicate through energy emissions? Yes, sir. And there's more. Minna tapped her screen. When we fired the main batteries from multiple ships simultaneously, the pattern changed to this. She displayed a more complex pattern. It's like they're responding to us, but not with weapons, with data. Junwoo shook his head. That makes no sense. Why would they? He was cut off as every screen on every ship in the human fleet suddenly displayed the same image. A complex array of geometric shapes and symbols appeared, shifting and changing like a living thing. What is this? Demanded Admiral Tai. It's a holographic projection, sir, said Mena. They've somehow taken control of our display systems. The symbols continue to shift, eventually forming patterns that seemed almost familiar, yet impossible to read. Are they threatening us? Asked Junwoo. Mina studied the patterns with growing excitement. I don't think so, sir. Look at these base elements. They are using universal mathematical constants. Pi, the golden ratio, prime numbers. These are building blocks for communication. Admiral Ta watched the symbols dance across the screen. 20 years in Earth's defense forces had taught him to trust his instincts. And right now, those instincts told him they were missing something important. Cease fire, all ships, he ordered. I repeat, all ships cease fire immediately. Sir, Junwoo questioned. If Ensign Choi is right, and they wanted to destroy us, they could have done so already. Our weapons aren't effective. Let's see what happens if we stop shooting. The fleet fell silent. The alien vessel continued to project its message for several more minutes. Then suddenly the holographic display changed. New symbols appeared, simpler this time. Sir, Minna said, her voice now trembling with excitement. I think they're trying to establish basic communication parameters. These symbols, they're setting up a shared language using mathematics as a foundation. Admiral Tai made the hardest decision of his career. Send a message to Earth Defense Command. Tell them we're attempting communication with the alien vessel. For the next hour, the human fleet and the alien ship exchanged increasingly complex mathematical formulas. With each exchange, understanding grew. Admiral, Minna finally said, I believe they're asking for a face-to-face meeting. These symbols suggest a request to dock with our flagship. The bridge fell silent. The thought of allowing this unknown entity to physically connect with their ship sent chills through everyone present. Sir, Junwoo said quietly, this could be a trap. Admiral Ta looked once more at the alien ship. Its weapons could have destroyed them all, yet it chose to communicate instead. Prepare Docking Bay 3, he ordered. Security teams on full alert, and alert our xenolinguistics team. We're about to make history, one way or another. As the alien ship slowly moved toward the Defender, Admiral Ta couldn't help but wonder if he had just saved humanity, or doomed it. Dr. Jun Kang had been studying the transmission for hours when realization struck. It's not language, it's mathematics, he explained to the assembled officers. They're using prime number sequences and geometric proofs as a foundation for communication. When the humans finally established meaningful contact, the truth emerged. The vessel carried the last survivors of the Volteri civilization, refugees fleeing from a cosmic horror they called the Void. They weren't attacking, Jun explained. Their approach was a formal greeting ritual. Previous encounters with other species ended in violence when their intentions were misunderstood. The conference room aboard the Defender fell silent as the officers processed this information. Admiral Ta stood by the window, watching the alien ship that now peacefully floated alongside their own. So you're telling me, Admiral Ta said slowly, that when they charged into our space and ignored our hails, they were saying hello. Dr. Jun nodded. Yes, sir. In their culture, a direct approach at full speed demonstrates trust. To approach slowly or circle would suggest caution or hostility. Security Chief 1 frowned. That makes no sense. How could any species evolve with such backward instincts? Their world was very different from ours, Dr. Jun explained. He adjusted his glasses and pulled up images on the main screen. From what I've been able to translate, the Volturi evolved on a gas giant moon with extremely thick atmosphere. Predators couldn't sneak up. They had to charge directly. Only friends approach head-on in their world. Ensign Mina Choi, who had first spotted the communication patterns, leaned forward. Have they explained why they came here specifically? Dr. Jun's face grew serious. That's where things get troubling. They're refugees, the last of their kind. Their home system was consumed, for lack of a better word. Consumed? Admiral Tai asked. Yes, sir. They call it the void. From what I understand, it's some kind of expanding phenomenon that doesn't just destroy. It erases. Stars, planets, entire civilizations gone, with no trace they ever existed. The room grew colder somehow. Captain Ba, who had been silent until now, spoke up. Are they sure it's coming this way? Dr. Jun tapped his tablet, bringing up a star map. According to their records, the void moves unpredictably, but always expands. They'd been tracking its path for centuries. They believe it could reach our sector within 50 years. Admiral Ta stared at the map. Why come to us? Surely there are more advanced civilizations that could help them. There were, Dr. Jun said quietly. The Volturi tried to warn 17 other civilizations. None believed them until it was too late. Some even attacked the messengers, thinking the Volturi themselves were the threat. And now they're all gone, Minna whispered. Dr. Jun nodded. The Volturi ship we see contains their entire remaining population, just under 10,000 individuals. Their technology is indeed far beyond ours, but they are a peaceful species. They never developed weapons until they had to flee. Security Chief 1 still looked suspicious. How do we know they're telling the truth? This could be an elaborate trick to get us to lower our defenses. Dr. Jun smiled slightly. I asked them the same question. In response, they've offered to allow a human delegation aboard their vessel. They want to show us their historical records and scientific data. Admiral Ta paced the room. I'll need volunteers for this mission. It's potentially dangerous. But I'll go, Minna said immediately. Several others nodded their agreement. The next day, a small team boarded a shuttle to the Volturi ship. Dr. Jun, Ensign Mina, and 3 other specialists floated through the docking tube into an environment unlike anything humans had ever built. The interior of the Volturi ship seemed alive, with walls that pulsed with soft light and corridors that curved in ways that made the human mind struggle to understand. Their guide was a Volturi called Elin, whose body resembled a tall, thin human but with skin that shifted colors like the surface of their ship. Communication happened through a device that translated mathematics into words. This is our Hall of Memory, Elin explained as they entered a vast chamber. Here, we preserve what remains of our civilization. The walls came alive with images. Beautiful cities under triple suns, strange creatures that flew through thick clouds, and children playing in gravity much stronger than Earth's. Then the images changed. Darkness crept into the edge of their star system. Stars began to wink out. The Volturi detected it too late. The void consumes energy first. Elin explained, colors of sadness flowing across their skin. Then matter. Then everything else. The humans watched in horror as the recording showed entire planets simply ceasing to exist. Not exploding, not breaking apart, just gone, as if they had never been there. We barely escaped, Elin said. Many did not. We carry all that remains of our people now. Later, as the human delegation prepared to return to their ship, Dr. Jun asked the question that had been troubling him. Why did you choose to warn us? We're not the most advanced species you could have found. Elin's skin rippled with what might have been a smile. When we scanned your vessels, we found something rare. Your weapons are primitive, but your thinking is not. You adapt quickly. You question before attacking. These qualities are rare and precious. Admiral Tai received their report in stunned silence. When they finished, he asked simply, "What do they want from us?" "Partnership," Dr. Jun answered. "They believe that together, we might find a way to stop the void. They have the technology, but they lack our creativity and adaptability." As the Admiral considered this information, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Lieutenant Sook rushed into the room. "Sir, long-range sensors have detected something at the edge of the system. It's just like they described. Stars are disappearing." The void had arrived much sooner than anyone expected. Humanity's greatest challenge was beginning. The UEF Security Council debated through the night. "We can't trust them," General Su Bin-yoon insisted. "This could be an elaborate trap." Lieutenant Commander Jun Kim disagreed. "My analysis suggests their technology could advance our capabilities by centuries. And if this threat, this void, is real, we'll need allies." Defense Minister Hannah Kang made the final decision. "We offer sanctuary, but with precautions." Within weeks, a joint human-Volteri research team formed. The aliens shared data showing entire star systems disappearing at the galaxy's edge. "Your species approaches problems differently than any we've encountered," said Volteri Elder Korth to the human delegation. "Where we seek perfect solutions, you adapt and improvise." The Grand Council chamber on Earth fell silent as the images played across the massive screen. The recording, taken from Volteri long-range sensors, showed a star system simply vanishing, not exploding, not collapsing, just gone, as if it had never existed. General Su Bin-yoon's face remained hard as stone. This could be faked. Advanced civilizations have deceived less developed ones throughout human history. Why should aliens be any different? Defense Minister Hannah Kang tapped her fingers on the polished table. The room was divided. Half the council saw opportunity in alliance with the Volteri. The other half saw only threat. "The evidence is compelling," Hannah finally said, "but so are the risks." Lieutenant Commander Jun stood up. As the officer who first detected the alien ship, he had earned the right to speak. "Ministers, generals, I've studied the Volteri ship for 3 weeks now. Their technology is unlike anything we've ever seen. If they wanted to destroy us, they could have done so already." General Su Bin scoffed. "Perhaps they want something else. Resources, territory, slaves. Then why warn us about this void?" Jun asked. "Why share their technology freely?" The debate raged for hours more. Outside the council chamber, the world watched and waited. News of the alien arrival had spread quickly. Some people panicked. Others celebrated. Most simply wondered what would happen next. Finally, Defense Minister Hannah raised her hand for silence. "We will form an alliance with the Volteri," she announced. "But we will take precautions. Their main ship will remain in orbit around Mars, not Earth. All technology transfers will be closely monitored. And UEF military forces will remain on high alert." Within days, the first joint human-Volteri research facility opened on the Martian surface. Scientists and engineers from Earth worked alongside the aliens, learning and sharing in equal measure. Dr. Min-soo, Earth's leading physicist, found himself working with Volteri Elder Korth, a being who appeared elderly but moved with surprising grace. Korth's skin shimmered with colors that changed with his mood. Currently a deep blue that Min had learned meant focused concentration. "Your approach to quantum mechanics is unusual," Korth said as they examined Min's equations. "You accept uncertainty as fundamental. We spent centuries trying to eliminate it." Min smiled. "Sometimes the most direct path isn't the best one." Their work proceeded quickly. The Volteri provided advanced sensor technology that could detect the void's approach. Humans contributed their understanding of defensive systems and combat tactics, concepts the peaceful Volteri had never fully developed. Meanwhile, on Earth, not everyone embraced the new alliance. Protests erupted in major cities. Religious leaders declared the aliens everything from saviors to demons. Politicians argued endlessly about the implications. During one particularly difficult day, when three nations threatened to withdraw from the UEF over the alliance, Lieutenant Commander June visited the Mars facility. He found Dr. Min and Elder Korith working late into the night. "How goes the research?" June asked. Min looked up, exhaustion clear on his face. "We've confirmed the Void's approach. It's moving faster than we expected. We may have only months, not years." June's heart sank. "Can we stop it?" Elder Korith's skin rippled with colors June couldn't interpret. "Perhaps. Your species has given us new ideas. The Void consumes energy in ways we never understood. But your physicists suggested something remarkable, that we might be able to create a feedback loop." "A feedback loop?" Min nodded excitedly. "The Void absorbs energy, right? But what if we gave it too much energy? The wrong kind of energy? It would be like overloading a circuit." For the first time, Jun felt a spark of hope. Would it work? "In theory," Min said. "But we'd need to build a device unlike anything ever created, something that could generate and direct energy on a scale that's, well, it's never been done before." "What would you need?" "Resources, materials, and time, which we may not have." Jude made a decision. "You'll have whatever you need. I'll speak to Minister Hanna personally." 2 weeks later, construction began on what humans called the Spear, a massive energy projector built using Volturi designs, but modified with human innovations. Ships from Earth carried materials to a construction site near Jupiter, far enough away that if something went wrong, Earth would be safe. During the construction, Elder Korith requested a meeting with the UEF Security Council. His message was simple but troubling. "We have detected void activity near your colony at Alpha Centauri," he told the stunned council members. "It appears to be a scout probe, testing your defenses." Minister Hanna looked grim. "How long do we have?" "Days, perhaps. The main body of the void is still months away. But these scouts move faster." General Subin, who had opposed the alliance from the start, surprised everyone by standing up. "Then we will show this void what happens when it threatens human space. Minister, I request permission to lead our fleet to Alpha Centauri with Volturi advisors." For the first time, Elder Korith's skin flashed a color humans had never seen before, a deep crimson with gold flecks. "What does that color mean?" Minister Hanna asked quietly. "Hope," said Korith. "For the first time since we lost our home, I feel hope. Your species fights when others would run. You see possible victory where we saw only inevitable defeat." As the human fleet prepared for battle, and work on the Spear continued day and night, something unexpected happened. The alliance, born of necessity, began to feel like friendship. Humans and Volturi learned from each other, not just about technology and science, but about art, philosophy, and the meaning of existence itself. The battle for survival had just begun, but already it had changed both species forever. 3 months later, long-range sensors detected the first probe from the void entering human space. The combined human-Volturi defense system engaged immediately. The alien visitors watched in amazement as human tactical officers made split-second decisions that their own simulations had missed. "Your species evolved as prey, then became predators," Elder Korith observed to Admiral Ta. "You understand both running and chasing, defense and offense. The void entities have conquered 17 civilizations, more technologically advanced than yours, yet none possessed your warrior instinct." As news of the successful defense spread, signals from previously unknown civilizations began arriving. A coalition formed, with human strategic command at its center. Captain Hyun Park stood on the bridge of humanity's newest flagship, looking at the assembled fleet of a dozen alien species. "We were never the most advanced species in the galaxy," he said to his crew. "But it turns out we might be the most dangerous, at least to those who threaten what we protect." The massive coalition fleet prepared to depart, its mission no longer to hide or defend, but to take the fight directly to the void. The battle against the first void probe lasted only 6 minutes. 6 minutes that changed humanity's place in the galaxy forever. when the dark, shapeless mass appeared at the edge of the Jupiter defense perimeter. The combined human Volturi fleet was ready. Admiral Ta stood on the bridge of the flagship Defiance, his face calm despite the tension. "All ships, maintain formation Delta," he ordered. "Prepare the spear for primary firing sequence." The massive energy weapon they had built using Volturi technology and human innovation hummed to life. Behind Admiral Tai, Elder Korith watched the human crew work with colors of wonder rippling across his skin. "Sir, the probe is changing course," reported Lieutenant Wu. "It's moving toward the spear." Admiral Ta nodded. "Just as we predicted. It senses the energy buildup and wants to consume it." The void probe, a swirling darkness that seemed to bend light around it, accelerated toward what it perceived as a feast. But the spear was more than just a weapon. It was a trap. "Energy levels at maximum," called Dr. Min from the science station. "Ready to initiate feedback loop on your command." Admiral Ta looked at Elder Korith, who nodded. "Fire." The spear released its energy, not in a destructive blast, but in a carefully modulated stream. The void probe eagerly absorbed it, exactly as planned. But as it did, something unexpected happened. The probe began to pulse, its edges becoming unstable. "It's working," Dr. Min exclaimed. "The modified energy is creating the feedback loop." For 30 seconds, the bridge crew watched in tense silence as the void probe twisted and writhed. Then, with a flash that temporarily blinded their sensors, it simply collapsed in on itself and disappeared. Not just destroyed, completely gone. Elder Korith's skin turned a brilliant white. "You did it. You found its weakness." Admiral Tai allowed himself a small smile. "We did it together. Your knowledge, our approach." News of the victory spread quickly. First to Earth, then beyond. Within days, signals began arriving from distant star systems. Other civilizations that had been hiding, watching, waiting to see if anyone could stand against the void. A month later, representatives from 12 different alien species gathered in Earth's orbit. Some resembled the Volturi. Others were so different from humans that special environments had to be created just so they could attend. In the grand meeting hall of the UEF flagship Unity, Captain Hyun Park, once the commander of the small patrol ship that first encountered the Volturi, now led the planning for a much larger mission. The probe was just the beginning. He explained to the assembled representatives. "Our long-range sensors show the void itself is still approaching, but now we know it can be fought. It can be beaten." A representative from the crystal-based Lumeri civilization spoke. "For centuries, we hid from the void. We watched it consume our neighbors. Why should we believe you can defeat what none before could even harm?" Elder Korith stepped forward. "Because humans think differently. My people sought perfect solutions and found none. Humans embrace imperfection. They see possibilities where we saw only failure." Captain Park activated the holographic display. It showed the battle plan, hundreds of ships, each equipped with modified versions of the spear, arranged in a formation no single species would have conceived. "The void expects fear," Captain Park said. "It expects its prey to run or hide. It has never faced a predator before." Over the next 2 weeks, the largest fleet in known galactic history assembled near Saturn. Ships of every size and design, crewed by beings who until recently had never known of each other's existence. On the bridge of the Unity, Captain Park looked out at this impossible alliance. Beside him stood representatives from each species, including Lieutenant Commander Jun Kim, who had first spotted the Volturi ship all those months ago. "Do you think it will work, Captain?" Jun asked quietly. Park touched the display showing their destination, the heart of the void itself. "I believe we will either succeed completely or fail completely. There is no middle ground with an enemy like this." As the fleet prepared to depart, Park addressed the crew one final time. "We were never the most advanced species in the galaxy," he said, his voice carrying to every ship in the fleet. "But it turns out we might be the most dangerous. at least to those who threaten what we protect. The ships entered faster than light travel in perfect sequence, the technology shared between all the allies making such coordination possible for the first time. The void had consumed 17 civilizations. It had spread unchecked for millennia. But it had never encountered humans before. A species that understood both being hunted and being the hunter. A species that, when backed into a corner, didn't just fight to survive. It fought to win. As the fleet disappeared into the darkness between stars, Earth watched and waited. The battle for the galaxy's future had begun. And humanity, the newcomers, the underdogs, led the charge. The end